my Marilyn Monroe a little, feeling like discussing some spicy chicken nuggets. Uncover some information about the internet and all this stuff. And I think I don't know if we're actually live because there should be a count how many people are watching. Like, I feel like something is definitely up. Something is up with our tech guys. So I'm going to go ahead and try and figure it out.
Last time you went on?
I might. I don't know. I'm going to see. I'm going to see what happens. Well,
also, did I show you how my nails came out?
You did. They look really cute, honey.
I like them. Considering I did the one with my left hand.
Yeah.
I was shaking like.
Oh, no, we can do. So I don't know. I guess let's just talk about your thing. So should we just skip this for a minute?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's probably a good idea.
And
we can start with the stuff I was talking about with the art and stuff.
No, yeah. Tell me about so she was telling me about a project that she had to do for her art class, and that she was looking at Van Gogh's The Scream, which is a pretty famous. I mean, that might be the only thing.
Famous. It sold for like so much money. And
okay,
I think
so
it's
hold
really
on.
pretty.
Let me.
Surrealism. It's so pretty.
Pardon me, guys. Sorry. One thing we can do is put the mic here. They'll hear us a little bit better. I'm going to pull it up. So Van Gogh's The Scream. So tell me about it.
Yes. So, okay. If only I had that stupid project. I've already done. She just didn't let me take it home. But
see it.
So basically,
is it this one?
Yes, it's that one.
Okay.
So it's
why there's all these different? Is that just like
those are remakes of it? It's the same one. That's the original.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the original then. Okay.
So
search inside the image. So tell us about the image. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's tell about the image.
Okay, go ahead. Tell about the
image. It's a guy that looks kind of imaginary, which isn't too uncommon for surrealism. That's actually what's mostly common. Mm-hmm. He looks like he's like melting almost in an odd way, which again isn't weird for surrealism.
Yeah.
What I found weird is the figures in the back. Okay. The Scream is something that didn't really have a set story. He never really said why he did it. He said that it was a dream, which reminds me a lot of what these artists are saying, how they're being tortured in their dreams.
Wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you made me think of something. Where's my paper?
I was sorry. But I was thinking, and it was a little odd to me. I started to notice that melting and like heat is a really big is a really important theme in the Christian like biblical hell.
Yeah, I see.
And that the two characters in the back kind of look like what everyone assumes that demons would look like.
I really want to spooky zoom in a little bit here. It's hard on my phone. My technology is not treating me well, and I'd love to be able to show you guys a little bit better. Is that a better representation? I think.
Yeah, it's a little bit higher.
A little bit
higher contrast, but with that's so great that probably looks normal to them.
Okay, so then you're talking. Are you talking about this guy?
There's actually two guys. That video that's slightly zoomed in.
Zoom in more. Let's see if we can zoom in more. So you're talking about these people.
Yeah, and this is actually he doesn't have a head. He just gets cut off right there, in the normal piece.
Sorta, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I also noticed that like the water didn't exactly look like water. It looked like Van Gogh was very much ahead of his time.
Yeah.
And in his painting Starry Night, there's a painting in the sky where there's the swirls. That is that's like perfectly represents the turbulence that would have been over that town, which isn't a scientific discovery that would have been made for another like 100 200 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they were the perfect spirals and everything. So he was very ahead of his time scientifically, and if you look at that you can see, and again this could just be me being crazy because that is very common for surrealists to have little spirals or something like that, but I found it odd that that's a repeating theme, and I found it that
the spirals are a repeating theme in his artwork or in other artwork as well?
In his artwork and other popular surrealists.
So surrealists, have you... Okay.
And if you think about it, Van Gogh was schizophrenic. What if he was never schizophrenic and he was just seeing demons because he was in touch with some sort of something that's out of our world and something that we can't perfectly comprehend? And what if, like, the reason why he, did that thing where he cut off his ear?
Yeah,
what if it was
to a hot person.
What if it was a blood ritual
That certainly could have
that
been.
the
It makes a lot of
demons
sense.
like told him?
Or essentially, like, it could have been just like ritual humiliation, which is almost required.
Well, if you look at why he cut off his ear, he didn't. I think
You probably know more
the
than me. I
story-
would have known 20
the
years ago.
story
but
I
wouldn't know
remember is that he cut off his ear and gave it to his cousin because he was in love with her.
Okay.
And if you think about that, that was never normal to
Now,
give
we
your
were
cousin
told
your
that
ear.
he gave that to a lady of the night, like a call girl or an escort, that he cut off his ear and mailed it
I
to
was
her.
told that it was
weird?
his
Like,
cousin. I was told that it was his cousin.
Jeez.
And that he was in love
Okay.
with her since he was like 7 or something like that.
Oh.
Something stupid like that.
Oh.
Which was normal back then because it was a small town in Italy. Everyone was cousins.
Well,
But
I mean, I guess. Like,
if you think about it, if you look at like satanic love spells, that's the vibes that's giving me. Like, there's absolutely no way that he just put his ear in a box and sent it to her. He have to, like, sorry, that's the dumbest thing I've ever said.
But yeah, no, it makes what you're saying makes a lot more sense than what I was taught. And what it really highlights for me, there's two things. But one of the things it's really highlighted for me just now in this moment is how what we consider to be this like authoritative education that we receive through whether it be history books or teachers or our own research or online resources that everybody's using now. It's amazing to me how quickly those things change, and how quickly your authoritative sources turn out to really not know what the hell they're talking about. It's almost like it's been happening for ages.
Yeah, things are just insane.
Yeah, and too
weird. It's just weird. Like there's no possible way that all this stuff happened in his life, and there was absolutely no reason for it happening. If you think about it, it's all perfectly connected, and it's like you would tell this to a normal person and they just wouldn't listen, and it's so perfect, and it makes no sense why people just won't listen to anyone just because that's what they were taught is the authoritarian way of thinking,
right.
And the authoritarian way that everyone wants you to think, and they're too scared to disobey that.
Yeah.
It really bothers me, honestly. It really does, because I'm not trying to say I know that I'm right in a way that I'm like, I know that I'm right, but there's no way that I'm wrong, or there's no way that I'm completely wrong. There's ways that I might be wrong about some things. Some things might just me filling in the blanks with my mind because I needed something to think about.
Well, I mean, look, we all do that. I mean, okay. So supposedly only like 50 to 60% of people have an internal voice. You have one, right?
Oh yeah.
I've called it the committee for a long time. What do you have?
I have like 7 people in my brain.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I have an internal voice. What's the hell up? That's why we're coming to you live at 1:30 in the morning. And we're only going to keep going here another 10 minutes. So I just want to touch on 2 topics lately that you brought up. Okay. So the first thing that you brought up that made a lot of sense to me and really triggered some memories in my mind is when you said that these artists are tormented, because I'm thinking not only about like artists like Van Gogh or Picasso,
I was thinking of Lady Gaga.
I was thinking of Lady Gaga. I wrote it. That's what I wrote down.
Picasso, real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah, I don't know anything about him.
Was an actual horrible person, and he got arrested for kill.
Okay,
he almost that scared the crap out of me. I was like, "What is that?"
He makes so much noise, dude. Between him and all the other puppies, it's all night long. That's why I don't sleep. Anyway, go ahead. Picasso.
But he almost beat his wife to death on multiple occasions. Yeah. And he was known for being a creepo to little girls. And he's another one of those surrealist artists. And it's weird because they have a history of doing weird, gory things.
They do.
Is it not obvious that they're being tormented by something?
Yeah, and like just to make a point, what you're saying about Lady Gaga is that her personal assistants and her security, people are assigned to sleep with her in bed because she says she cannot sleep alone because she's tormented by demons. So like there's that. But then what it turned into is I'm going to have to speak in code. So hopefully y'all can try and follow along, and I will write it down if you don't understand. Okay. This way we don't get the boot for that. Okay. The swirls.
Yes.
Have we talked about this before?
It depends.
I don't
think
know
so.
if we
I don't
have.
know. You don't really talk in code when we're talking in the car on our way to Walmart, so.
Yeah.
Writes aggressively.
I'm drawing shapes. For my friends that are more awake to the truth, you will probably see these shapes as being representative of adults who are fond of children in a way that is completely and utterly inappropriate. Okay.
Oh, I hate those stupid
This
people.
is boy love. That's why you see the swirls, because Van Gogh was more than likely involved in
he was gay.
he had a child.
He had a boyfriend, and he was like 17, and Van Gogh was like 40, or so I've heard from like some kids.
The swirls, you can look this up. It's been declassified. I have the document somewhere, but not printed out. I mean, I have it saved somewhere on my Google Drive. But this represents little boy love, usually pre-teen, pre-adolescent boys.
That's disgusting.
This is little girl.
Also disgusting.
This is boy, just boy, regular boy love. Like if you know, oh God. Anyway, I should be speaking in better
boy
code.
love, like just a
regular,
random gay
like
man?
a regular age, like say you. And then there's another one which, but that's why when you look around,
is that for teens or is that just for gay people?
No, it's just for teens.
Oh, that's so disgusting. Like who?
But when you look around, if you go grab that bag of Takis, you're going to see one of these symbols right there on the bag of Takis. And what do we do?
Yeah,
feed it to our kids.
The eye on that Takis is that symbol. It's the Takis, and
no, don't write it on it. Do not. That's how spells. Don't do that.
Never mind.
You write it on there, and then we burn it when we're done. Don't write it on your body ever. You're putting that stuff on your spirit. It's not good.
It's like that.
Okay, right. So she's right. Do you have kids that love Takis? Check out your bag of Takis. These symbols.
I'm not sure if that's all Takis or if that's just like some limited edition.
No, it's all. It's their brand.
Okay.
Literally their brand.
Yeah. Okay.
So when you see these symbols in like Disney shows or Nick Jr. shows, or you see it on
like the eye in Disney.
Like the eye in Disney, like the Moana, how the O is a swirly O.
No, not Moana.
They've literally infected everything with these symbols, and then
again, Moana was always creepy because it wasn't Moana always creepy because Moana is supposed to be like 14 and Maui looks like he's like 75, not literally.
Yeah, but
he's a 3,000-year-old and she's like 16.
But again,
think about that for like a hot minute. Like you don't even have to think about that.
Well,
for a minute.
They're not together like that. At least that's the one thing I felt. I felt like Moana was safe or good because there was no like relationship. There was no prince. It was like her and the guy being friends.
It kind of was.
Well,
in a way.
Anyway,
there were some parts that got a little gross if he was a 3,000-year-old and she was 16. But that's not the point.
The point is, once you're on the lookout for these symbols, you actually start to see them everywhere, and you see them represented in entertainment and in music and in artwork. Because when you get to the higher levels of this entertainment industry, these higher levels, the things that we see through the screen, either on TV or through the phones when we're watching something, that stuff is created by people that are literally obsessed with these things. Like they harness, it's like the Matrix for my older people here. They're literally, it's loosh. They're harvesting our energy. And then when you have things like the sacrifice that happened on the night of what's that guy's name?
The
Travis Scott concert.
Horrible. That's always
it's hard to even find information about what really happened, because back when it did happen, and I made videos on this, but back when it did happen, back when it did happen, there were reports that like dozens of people had been crushed. And then like the official death count that I ever heard of on the news only went up to like 10 or 11. I think it was 9. And that's a complete lie. That's a complete lie from everybody that's there. But then what happens is Travis, if I were an entertainer, this is purely hypothetical, Ashley, right?
Yes.
Purely hypothetical now. Okay. If I were a famous entertainer, okay, And in order for me to move up the ranks within these secret societies, a blood ritual must be performed. And it's also performed on the birthday night of your handler's mother, who's her handler, and she is a very high-ranking woman within that structure. The blood sacrifice, let's say if I was having a concert, perhaps my concert goers would be a part of such a thing. And then if that happened and I didn't want the press, but I had a lot of money, I might go to those people and be like, I am so sorry for what happened. I'm sure you don't have any money for a funeral. And Miss Dana Gaga would like to give you a $250,000 donation. But here, you have to sign this NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. This legally binds you that you are not allowed to talk about what happened on that night. Now, funeral costs, let's say a big funeral probably costs around $15,000-$20,000. But that's why they go in and offer them $250,000 and have them sign an NDA. And when you have people that are literally like, if somebody came to us and offered us that much money, it's hard to turn down when you're somebody that's struggling to put food on the table every 2 weeks. It's crazy. So anyway, I mean, hypothetically, that's what I would do if that ever happened. But I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying that if it happened to me and I was like that would be cool. And then the other thing we'll talk, maybe just we want to cap it at 20 minutes. I know we didn't get far, but we can catch up again another night. I like this. I feel super comfortable. I like your energy here when we're doing it.
Yeah.
But the other thing about Lady Gaga, let's talk about, what do you think about, did you hear what happened at her concert? You heard us talking about that tonight? Lady Gaga, she's in the news recently for something super gross. Did you hear about it?
I think I was with the baby.
Okay.
Still playing with the baby for most of the time. You guys are talking on this.
Bring it close. Bring it in close here, dear.
We're listening.
Okay, bring it in close.
I feel like I need hot chocolate. I need a pumpkin spice latte. I need to be like,
we're gonna hear about you. We're gonna fold this up and put that right there, and then scoot yourself in. And I'm gonna pull up a video of Lady Gaga's most recent concert.
I am Lady Gaga.
Show me. Okay,
stop it. Don't cancel us. This is an impersonation.
Can you put the table over there so that it's out of the way, please? Thank you.
I can put it on against this here.
We're talking about artists that are absolutely, just anywhere is fine. That are artists that are absolutely deluded. Lady Gaga recently had a concert, and I'm trying to find some.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen clips of Lady Gaga doing something, but I feel
Do
like
you remember what it was?
I feel like it was a fashion statement, not anything bad.
Okay.
I'm concerned.
It's horrifying. It's horrifying because I can't imagine in what universe somebody would suggest this, and then so at least two people thought it was a good idea. The person that suggested it, and then her for doing it, and then the other person that was involved. So at least three people were like, yeah, this is a good idea. And to me, the fact that you can get three people to agree to this, it's okay. Yep, there you go. We're going to watch this. I wish we could watch it together, but we can't. What I've done here is I've gone on Rumble, and all I searched was Lady Gaga. Okay. Let's make sure my Bluetooth is off. This is Lady Gaga. She is sticking her fingers down her throat so that she can vomit on her. Look at her. You guys, she's literally gagging. Now this is, okay. Okay. Lady Gaga had not come up. I mean, this is obviously planned. There's obvious. This isn't just a random thing that happened.
Obviously, vomiting color. She had to have been eating special food for weeks to be able to.
So let's describe then what happens. Lady Gaga is performing a concert. I'm not sure exactly where. I'm not sure where. I think it might be like Germany. Like, I don't think it's necessarily in the United States, but we can look that up. And she is playing the drums while her band is playing. And a young woman who certainly looks to be probably like, again, of legal age, certainly, but she is a smaller, petite girl. And I would say she's even slightly on the thinner side. Would you agree with that? And Lady Gaga has this woman, come up and literally gag herself with her fingers and vomit this green liquid. I don't know. I can't really. It won't like the camera.
Yeah, this
won't
color
focus.
is off because my nails are pink. That's boring.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I can get it. If this would change things, I'm trying. I want to actually get it up on the screen.
Yeah, there you go. This is kind of stupid, but if people, yeah, a chemophobia warning, by the way.
Okay, so for Lady Gaga to be encouraging young women to have bulimic fits and vomit green liquid all over her, I don't understand how people can look at that and still spend money on her concerts and go and see her and think that she is some kind of hero. I am absolutely horrified. I can't think besides somebody coming up on stage and pooping on her.
Honestly,
I can't think of anything. I really can't think of anything worse. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts. And so when you brought up Lady Gaga, I thought it would be a good opportunity. We can kind of wrap things up with this idea of Luciferian satanic people that are clearly in our Hollywood entertainment music space. The artists, unfortunately. Why is it the artist, do you think? The vocalist, which is an artist. You know what I mean? Is it like the whole tortured soul, like artists are like tortured souls and they're just trying to work out their pain and it's like real complicated? Like what? Like
I just
what?
Need to bring up to off camera that it's a conspiracy theory, but it might make it sound kind of crazy, and I kind of want, if you want to cap it here, I don't want to prolong it.
Well, go ahead. Let's
sure?
see. Yeah, let's see.
I'm thinking, you know that like whole starving artist thing?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, all artists are poor, right?
Yeah.
What if that's the sort of humiliation ritual / like pain, self-inflicted pain ritual kind of a vibe thing? Because like there's absolutely no way that an artist who's that talented wouldn't, like Van Gogh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you think about it. How come the second that he died, all of his art became popular? Because his ritual was over. His starving artist, crazy guy, painting outside of a mental hospital window act and ritual was over. And
there are theories, and again I kind of, when I study these things, I have to, there are so many like working parts to these various conspiracies that when you go in, you almost have to deep dive and act as if you are believing in what they're saying. So there are some people within the movement who would suggest that people like Van Gogh, that not really dying necessarily, but that they were always just embodied evil spirits, that they essentially reincarnate into the next like evil person, the next like authoritarian tyrannical leader, the next like whatever, or that essentially they didn't really die, but like you said, that because that's when his stuff got popular, that's when his stuff became more expensive, and that he then went on to probably live a good long life because he was harvesting energy from the people around him through his evil acts.
That's really smart, actually. That's actually really... My brain's like, I know, real life, right? I'm like,
wait a minute, yeah. So, yeah, that's one of the theories. And, there are some people that believe that Lady Gaga is Marilyn McCann, a little child that was stolen off of some island after a beauty pageant. Very, very weird situation there. But what we do know is the woman that raised Lady Gaga has her own, does work in the higher, or did work, I should say, in the higher executive levels of the United Nations. And so when we tie in the United Nations and what their aim is and what it is that we are fighting against, which is kind of this one world tyrannical, authoritarian medical dictatorship, it's important for people, I think, Ashley, to start making the connection between the way that their entertainment programs them towards a certain attitude. The fact that songs are catchy, that they have these catchy titles that you are replaying in your head over and over again, that is literally by design.
You say that as my head is just like,
I know. Well, if it's a song playing on repeat, you really should probably write that out and burn that, because a lot of times, especially if you're singing Lady Gaga, if you're singing Madonna, do you know that there's a okay? So we can't get off on this. Madonna has now been accused of essentially kidnapping these black children that she has from Malawi. That even the father and the mothers and the grandmothers of these children were they say they were told by Madonna's people that the NDA that they were signing, the adoption papers, that it was just temporary to go get them a good education and then they'd be back. Well, now they turned her son, who she adopted from Malawi, as now a transgender fashion model, she or they. And the dad's like, what did you do to my son? Like, you took my son and you turned, this is not how our people, this, like, you're not honoring our culture. You're not giving him a chance to be who he should have been. And so now, like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel sick because I grew up listening and loving Madonna. And I think about what kind of spells did I cast into my own brain and my own psyche that were super destructive. And the more I think about it, the more sick I get. And so that's why I think it was important to me. And I'm super glad that you brought it up and let me talk about it so much, is Hollywood and entertainment. And I just, as a mom, I want you to be careful, because I don't want you to be programmed with the same dysfunctional ideas and patterns that I had. And, as a mom, I think as a mom, you just always want what's the best for your baby. And you might be a teenager, but you're still my baby, and I love you. I think it's time for us to get to bed. It is going to be 2 a.m. by the time we climb in. So, yeah. Let's get some sleep, okay? Thank you for joining us. If you got this far, please leave a like down below, and maybe we'll catch you again.
bye-bye.
Good night, guys. Stay well, stay strong, stay blessed.